WQAM 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel.
Slomin's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring, all for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. All you have to do right now is call 833-283-5050. That's right, just $24.95 per month to secure your home and family. Call 833-283-5050 to receive this limited time offer. A free home security system and professional installation absolutely free. Your Slomin's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3-door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access, so you can check in anytime from anywhere. You can't put a price on peace of mind, so call 833-283-5050 right now. At Slomin's Home Security, we believe every family deserves to feel safe, because protecting what matters most shouldn't be complicated or expensive. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today. Slomin's Home Security, protecting families nationwide. Call 833-283-5050 to get your free home security system and professional installation today, or visit slomins.com.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith with All Year. Do you have a faucet that continues to drip and drip? Trust All Year for same-day service 24/7. Call us today at 833-ALL-YEAR.
Right now at All Year Cooling, enjoy free service calls and save up to 30% off repairs and new AC units.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Hello, I'm Earl Stewart. I welcome you to Earl Stewart on Cars, a live talk show all about how to buy, lease, maintain, or repair your car without being ripped off by a car dealer. With me in the studio is Nancy Stewart, my wife, co-host, and a strong consumer advocate, especially for our female listeners. We also have Rick Kearney, an expert on how to keep your car running right. I dare you to ask a question that Rick can't answer about the mechanics or electronics of your car. Also with us is my son, Stu Stewart. Our link to cyberspace through Facebook, YouTube, text messaging, and our encrypted anonymous feedback service. Stu is also the Spymaster Director of our Mystery Shopping Report. He dispatches our secret shopper weekly to an unsuspecting car dealership. And now, on with the show. Good morning, everybody. Well, we're back. I get puzzled when I start my live introduction because most of our listeners, I think, are regulars, and you know a lot of what I'm going to say. But we've got a whole new group of people out there that are listening. I'm encouraged by the way our audience is growing. So for you new people out there, I have to repeat something to our regulars. And believe me, with our regulars, we wouldn't be on the air. It's very, very important to us. But we're a show about how to buy a car, lease a car, or maintain or repair your car without being taken advantage of by a car dealer. And we've been doing this show for like 20 years, and you'd think that we'd made some serious progress, but I'm sad to tell you that we haven't. And the process, the policies, the methods of retailing cars in the United States is frozen in time. And everything else you buy is moved into the 21st century. And it's getting easier and safer. A lot of you folks that use Amazon, and that's about 2/3 of you, know what it's like to have. It's not perfect, trust me. I mean, I use Amazon, and I know they're not perfect. Costco isn't perfect. The Apple Store isn't perfect. But to compare them to a car dealer, they're perfect. I mean, it's almost a joke, the way we buy cars today in America. And it's a joke to people, I think, from other countries that have a little bit more civilized. Although the haggle negotiation system is kind of spread around the world. So this is for you new listeners, and maybe you're coming up on buying a used car or a new car, leasing a new car maybe, or maybe you're just going to take your car into the shop for repairs. That's what we're all about here. In the studio with me, I have Rick Kearney, a certified diagnostic master technician. And if you've got anything mechanical, electronic, or what do you want to call today's smart products, computerized, he can answer the question for you. I mean, he goes all the way from the old spark plug and coil and combustion engine cars up to today's spaceships. I mean, we got cars now with technology. Literally, the company or the guy that builds Teslas also builds spaceships. So there you go. In fact, he actually used some of the materials in both products. The SpaceX car rockets that go up use the same stainless steel that he used to build his Tesla trucks with. So the software high tech is merged with the car business. So Rick Kearney is on top of that. And a lot of our regular listeners and older listeners are driving 15, 20-year-old, 30-year-old cars. He can tell you how to fix, repair those also. So give us a call at 877-960-9960. That's 877. Rick just gave me a signal.
Did you know that, and I just looked this up just now,
Yeah.
you can go on Amazon and buy a used car from several different Hyundai dealerships?
Yeah.
A used car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're going to get everything on that.
Yeah, the manufacturer Hyundai, and I salute the manufacturer Hyundai for being the only manufacturer to shake hands and make a deal with Amazon. And let me tell you something. I talk on the show about which manufacturers will survive. Hyundai would not have been on that list. In fact, it's probably not on the list now. But if the other manufacturers let Hyundai get away with being a partner with Amazon, you're going to see some serious Hyundai sales, and they will grow and grow and grow. So watch out, you other manufacturers that are telling the dealers what they want to hear, that the franchise system will remain forever, and that you will always be able to buy a car through a franchise dealer. That's not going to happen, folks. Trust me. I'm a franchise dealer, and I know that this system that we see is going to be gone. And so my hat's off to Amazon, my hat's off to Hyundai. And if you're in the market for Hyundai, by all means, find a dealer that's participating. Not all the dealers participate, but the Hyundai new and used car can be bought from a dealer probably near you. If not, you can find one further away. But eventually, all Hyundai dealers will be on that program. And eventually, in my opinion, all manufacturers or dealers will be on that program. But again, I digress about buying and selling, maintaining and repairing, and that's the reason I mentioned Rick Kearney, certified diagnostic technician. If you want a diagnosis on your problem that if you went into a dealership might cost you $1,000, you can call Rick and get it free. Hey, that's the best 4 words in advertising, free. And it really is free at Earl Stewart on Cars. 877-960-9960. And if you don't feel like being live on the air, then you can go to our text number. That text number is 772-497-6530. 772-497-6530. And if that's not enough, we're streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Earl on Cars. And our favorite stream, YouTube, youtube.com/Earl on Cars. And if you really want to get some good information, we have a YouTube following. You can't compare it to anything. They are a group of very intelligent, regular listeners, been with us for a long time. And they're kind of like Rick's team. Rick Kearney has built this team, and they post on youtube.com/EarlonCars. Just go to youtube.com/EarlonCars, and if you don't, even if you don't listen to the show, read the postings by our followers on YouTube. And Facebook, we were off on Facebook for a while. Now we're back on Facebook. And so if Facebook is your thing, let's try that. Facebook.com/EarlonCars. Now, another thing that makes our show unique, our mystery shopping report. We're going to go into a car dealership. We do it every week. We've done it for this previous week. And we pretended to buy or lease a car, and we'll tell you exactly what happened. And it was a doozy. This week was something else. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you what I think right now because. But when I read it, it evoked a lot of emotion. I won't tell you whether it's positive or negative. And of course, we had ChatGPT. He's the other member of the team we don't talk about. He graded the mystery shopping report that we had this week, and it's one of the most entertaining. I can say that without giving it out, but entertaining. You're gonna love it. I promise. If you can't listen to the show, do what you got to do. Go to the grocery store, have breakfast. Take a ride over to the beach, whatever you want to do. If you have a beach, I mean, we're in all 50 states. I'm talking to the Floridians. But to come back in the last half hour, we're on the air from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our mystery shopping report is in the last half hour. Now, you lady listeners, Nancy Stewart is the co-host. She's sitting right across the desk from us here, and she is a strong advocate for you ladies out there. She has a very special offer. You new folks don't know about it, but it's a very special offer for you ladies that you will say, nah, that's too good to be true. Well, it's true. You have my word. You have Nancy's word. She's going to tell you about a offer for the first 2 new female callers. And Nancy is, she's not only an advocate for the ladies at our dealership. In full disclosure, we have a Toyota dealership, and Nancy is our advocate for the ladies. If you're going to buy a car and you go into a car dealership, you really need somebody on your side. And who better to have on your side than Nancy Stewart? She's been there. She's done that. She's been on this show with me and listening to you and listening to what's happening out there for 20 years. So if there's any woman in the world that can tell you how to buy a car without being taken advantage of because you're a woman, you're going to find out from Nancy. And you can listen to this show, or you can listen to the podcast on this show, and you can get some great advice, or you can go to our, we have EarlonCars.com. Go to our website, EarlonCars.com, and you can hear our podcast, you can read our mystery shopping reports, and you can get Nancy's advice, if you're a lady, on how to not be taken advantage of. So I yak too much. I tend to do that. Nancy Stewart is going to tell you right now about some things we talked about, and she's going to tell you how to take advantage of our incredible offer. Nancy, the microphone is all yours.
Good morning. Thank you for the introduction. I'm on slow motion, Iggy. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh, we got technical problems.
Okay. Hopefully everybody out here could hear me. Breaking news. Haggling in a dealership isn't modern at all.
Been going on for a long time, hasn't it? Haggling.
It has.
Yeah.
It's kind of left over from the ancient marketplace bargaining. Thousands of years ago, Everything was
Everything, yeah.
negotiated.
We got horses. I
We
think
got rugs, spices, livestock,
Yeah.
you name it. But guess what? I can't negotiate when I go into Publix.
Yeah.
I can't negotiate with Amazon. And you don't negotiate with Apple. Boy, I hope that the audience can hear what's going on in the studio. They can't? Okay. I'm going to take these out and put those in.
Okay, microphone.
Somebody take over.
Headphone issues. What Nancy will pick up for this as soon as we get her headphones adjusted properly. But the thought I had when she was talking about negotiation, and you don't have to do it at Publix or Costco or or Walgreens or wherever you go. People just buy and shop, and they competitively compare prices, and that's the system today.
Hey,
And
I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay.
I have another set of buds in. I'm going to go on to say this is such an important topic.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I just opened the show and I said to you, haggling in a car dealership isn't modern at all, but it continues, and it's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. It's just totally ridiculous. And if I sound like as if that I feel passionate about this topic, I certainly do, because it is, again, ridiculous. The car business never evolved past the ancient system, that ancient system of negotiating for a rug, for spices, for livestock, for anything at all. Can you think back, close your eyes and think back of these ancient times, and it still exists today when you're purchasing a vehicle. How do you feel about that? Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. The car business never evolved past the ancient system because prices aren't transparent. Prices aren't transparent. Yes, Earl?
No, I just thought of this. What do you think about a mystery shopping report at Publix, and we get Ancient Lightning to go in and maybe pick up a New York strip steak or something like that and go to the cashier. And then when the cashier rings up the price, she'll say, well, I think that's too high. Mm-hmm. Can you get your manager, see if he'll give me a discount, and try to haggle with a cashier? If we could get that, that would be kind of a interesting experience that we could compare. I think maybe they would throw Agent Lightning right out of the store. What do you think would happen?
Sounds like a great idea to me. Even the honest dealers get dragged into the game. Dragged into this silly ass game. It is unbelievable. Even the honest dealers, can you imagine? Yeah. It's just so barbaric. It's so ancient. We need to move forward. That leads me to my next question, and that is, ladies, have you walked into a dealership? Have you felt talked down to? Have you felt intimidated in any way? Do I need to say any more? That too is ancient. That's over. The train left the station. It's time to move forward. We're in the 21st century. It's no longer a boys' club. I am here to say, ladies, I am going to lead you to the promised land. Pardon the pun. Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960. Why? Ladies, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. You need $50 anything at this time of year. So give us a call. You can also text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget your anonymous feedback.com. We're going to go to the phones where Howard is a regular caller, and hopefully he's here in Florida and not from his home state up in the Northeast, and he's all warm and snuggly. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. How did you know I'm still up here?
I could hear your teeth chattering. What's the temperature right now?
Oh, it's about 28,
Ooh.
and very light, slow, but very light, just a dusting. But here's why I'm here. I'm selling my condo in the Riverdale section of the Bronx. It's a very nice area, and unfortunately, it's going to take me another month or so before I sell it. So I won't be down till probably the middle of January, the end of January. But I have a question. I'm doing an oil change for time, not for mileage. So I'll be over 6 months. Would there be a problem with that?
No, won't hurt a thing.
Okay. All right. So I shouldn't have my oil change done here. I should wait till I get to you. All right?
Yeah, modern
mileage
oils
is
can
fine.
handle that so much better. The quality is so incredible on them that you'll be fine with that.
Yeah, the mileage is okay. Just the duration is okay. It'll be over like maybe 2 months or a month and a half. Okay, so next question. Believe it or not, I never heard of this thing, but I have swollen lug nuts. Now, I Googled it, and I'm saying lug nuts. Okay, so...
Yeah. Be careful.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. What's the technical term for lug nuts? I mean, I've always used that term.
It is. It's lug nuts, right?
That's it. Yeah, that's it's nobody's ever really come up with a better name. It just simply works. Yeah. What happened? Apparently, Toyota, Honda, and Ford are the three big ones that I know of that did this. They started this back in the 2000s. The lug nut, which is you're going to be taking those on and off of the car over and over and over, but they wanted them to look pretty. So they first started trying to make them nice, fancy, shiny chrome with little cap covering the end of the nut where it would go on the lug stud. And unfortunately, as time, that little cap would rust and fall off. So then they put this thin metal shield over the lug nut that would be shiny chrome. And what they didn't count on was over the years of, taking the lug nuts on and off, because 99.9% of mechanics putting them on and off are going to use an impact gun. And it causes a slight vibration, and that metal shield actually begins to swell up and expand. And suddenly that lug nut that was a 21 millimeter has increased to 21.5 or even 22 millimeters. And they actually had to come out with half-size sockets that were 21.5 millimeters so that we could get them on and off easily. But if you got stuck alongside the road with a flat tire, your lug wrench in your car is not going to get those off. So, yeah, unfortunately, they actually turned lug nuts into a wear item, and every so often they've got to be replaced. It's one of their dirty little secrets they did. And my favorite thing that I did on my vehicles, whichever ones might have had them, I went and found a different model of car that had the exact same design of lug nut, but did not have that shield, and replaced them, so I never had to worry about that fact. Oh, and Donovan is saying that GM also is doing these. Oh, man. They all did it just to make them look pretty. And for some reason, nobody stopped to think, hey, these have got to be taken on and off of the car every 5,000 miles.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make something durable and not worry quite so much about it being pretty.
The designers got hold of it, and the engineers didn't know about it.
Yep.
Okay, so my question to you, I was going to ask you, should I get Toyota lug nuts and have them installed, or should I get aftermarket and lug nuts? What should I do about it?
I would, if you want to do the Toyota lug nuts, I'm just going to give fair warning. They're proud of them, so they charge for the most. But what I would do is I would go in and ask them to go to the parts department and find a lug nut that does not have that cap on it, that is a solid lug nut, and replace them with those.
Yeah, you can buy. You just
lug
remind.
nut that has a cap.
Yeah, you don't want to be a shrouded lug nut. You want it to be a solid one-piece lug nut.
Okay. How about AutoZone?
Any place can get you good quality lug nuts. Even Amazon.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I went to AutoZone, and they don't have the washers on it.
No. If yours is designed for alloy wheels, some of them have that washer on there and some don't. Make sure that yours does have the washer, because that's designed to help actually absorb some of the vibrations so that the lug nuts do not loosen up over time as you're driving.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thanks all for the information. I'll be seeing you in about a month.
Absolutely. We'll be here.
Look forward to it, Howard. Stay warm.
Bye.
Happy holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to go back to what I opened with, and that was, about this barbaric way of purchasing a vehicle today in the 21st century and haggling in car dealerships. And do you know why this exists? Why this continues? It continues because the dealers have to deceive, because the system practically requires it. So for these dealers that are honest, that want to stay in business, it's just, as I said, haggling, it's over. We need all of us to get on the same page when purchasing a vehicle. Moving on, I have to say again, ladies, have you felt intimidated, talked down to at a dealership? It's ridiculous. That too is over. Those days are long over, because ladies are so much smarter today. They're so far ahead of the game. And guess what? They are a financial impact on the auto industry. Without them, I'm afraid that there is going to be some financial changes for the auto industry, because we are a driving force. There's no other way to put it. $50 for the first two new lady callers. $50 for the first two new lady callers. We're going to go to Lisa, who's calling us from Palm Beach Gardens. And guess what? She is a first-time caller. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome. You've won yourself $50 this morning, Lisa. And when we're finished talking, if you'll stay on the line and give your information to Jeremy in the studio, he'll pass it along to me, and I will make you out that check and mail it for $50. Welcome.
Wow, wonderful. What a great surprise.
Thank you. Welcome to Earl on Cars. What can we do for you?
Well, so I actually am looking to get a used new car for me, but it'll be used, like maybe like 2 or 3 years old. I'm not sure, but I was looking into. I want to get an SUV. It'll be my first SUV. I was looking into my two, dealers that makes that I'm looking at are Toyotas and Subarus. I have yet to test drive Subarus. I've never even driven one, so I was going to
Good choices.
just give those. Thank you. But the question that I have is about basically what has a lot to do with what you're talking about with getting worked over and prices and stuff. But I'm seeing all this stuff, and I get the Florida Weekly. I see you guys' ad in there on the your Earl's got always the write up on there and his articles in the Florida Weekly, and there's and I know I've heard you guys talking about online and buying a car online, and that it says in capital letters here, do not visit a dealership, for any other reason than test driving the vehicle that you decide to buy, which is what I'm doing actually right now.
Great.
I actually went into the dealership in Lake Park there, the Earl Stewart. Really good service. Can't complain. But my question is, with me, I'm old school. You always go to get the car. You have to look at it. You have to make sure, even they say take a mechanic with you to see if it looks okay. You look at it. I know things have advanced now, but I mean, don't you have to check the car out some before buying? Is my thing is what I'm getting at. How can you trust just purchasing one online like that without going to see it, or do you go down and see it first and then check it out and then purchase it online? Is that what you're saying? Or
You know what, Lisa? I think that each person who wants to purchase a vehicle, whether it's a male or a female, I think that you should do what you're comfortable with. I know that we have talked, especially me, saying, you know, your computer right there, it's a book of knowledge. I mean, there are so many questions you can ask and answers, straight answers that you can get. But old school, I picked up on that word, old school. That's me. You want to touch it. You want to feel it. You want to smell
Right.
it. So
Yeah.
with that said, it's whatever makes you comfortable. And Earl has something to add to this.
Yeah, the cardinal rule when you buy a used car, whether it's from us or any other car dealer, is to take the car to your own mechanic. And by that, I don't mean the mechanic that works at that car dealership or used car lot. Hopefully you have someone that in the past you've trusted to do things on your car. And you don't ask him to do a favor for you. You pay him. It might cost you. And this you do this after you found the car you want. And it looks good. You've test driven it. You've looked at the drivability and you know that it's a good car. You've checked Consumer Reports. You've done all your homework, and everything looks good to you. And of course, the person that's trying to sell it to you, the dealer, he tells you what a great car it is. Then you say, okay, we have a deal, but one condition: we're going to take it to my mechanic. And you drive the car to your mechanic and you say, I'm getting ready to pay X thousands of dollars for this car. I want you to check it over and let me know if there's anything that's seriously wrong with the car. As a matter of fact, anything that's wrong with the car. And what will you charge me? A good mechanic could charge anywhere from $150 to $250. That will be the best $150, $250 you ever spent. And likely he will find a couple little things. And hopefully he doesn't find something bad. But if he does, you don't want to buy the car. So you bring the car back to the dealer, and you have the written report from your mechanic, and you say, I found that the wheels are out of alignment. I found that there's a rattle in the door. Whatever your mechanic says is wrong with it. And you say, if you'll fix that, include it in the price you quote me, I'll buy the car today. So that way, that's the best thing you can do to protect yourself.
Yeah, and Lisa, with what Earl just said, so you would feel comfortable with, as you said, you know, being old school, going into the dealership. You would.
Yeah.
And you would also feel comfortable with getting, you know, 3 estimates and 3 mechanics just across the board. You know, unfortunately, things have changed. They really have. There's so much homework that you have to be involved in if you want to, well, get the out-the-door price and get a car. And this is an investment. I don't care whether it's a used car, a new car. This is an investment. It's almost like purchasing a home. In fact, there are 2 very important investments that you'll make in your life. That's purchasing a home, buying a vehicle. So back to buying a vehicle, one of the most important things for me is for me to clarify the add-ons. There are so many hidden add-ons, and if you are not clear about that, you best be. And that's all the junk fees and warranties they suggest. There's so much to look into.
Yeah, there is. I went into the Honda dealership too because that was one of my choices. But as far as their price ranges, what I would want from one of them would be a SUV that I wouldn't be able. It would be out of my price range. They're smaller ones that I'm not really too fond of. So, but they tacked on. I think it was at least $3,000. You know, when I went to speak to the guy about one of the cars or something, you know, with this fees, that fees, that's all this. I don't even know the names of them, but
yeah. Guess what? Join the club. Even as we sit here, as we speak, as we do a radio show for the last 21 years, there is so many ways that they can just put a name on something. You know, they're handing you a bottle of water, and it's a bottle of Kool-Aid. They're telling you that it's a bottle of water. I think you get my point.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, that's good, and then it's good to know too about what Earl said about taking. I mean, they'll let you do that. Then take it to your not the mechanic that you trust and.
Yeah, and if you have do you have a mechanic, a favorite mechanic?
I do. I have someone that I know, a couple people, that I would probably be able to.
And Rick has something to add to this.
Any dealership or car lot or private buyer or anyone that you're considering buying a car from, a used car, if they won't let you take it to the mechanic of your choosing, walk away.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many reasons today to just walk away. You know, we used to sit here in the studio, and we used to talk about the customers that were locked in a showroom. Locked.
That were what?
Literally locked in a showroom.
Oh my gosh.
And that would require another show for me to go into that. But it's real. It's reality. And things are changing quickly in the auto industry. And women are becoming more aggressive. They're becoming more knowledgeable. And they are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing my research and stuff.
Yeah, one of the tricks that salesmen used to use, and they still use this, is if you have your keys out for your car that you drove in on, and they say, well, let me take and we'll have it, checked over, see what the trade-in offer will be. They'll take your keys, and they won't give them back.
What?
Yeah, there's so many stories that we could share.
Matter of fact, I'll tell you a secret. The guy sitting next to me, I know for a fact that he threw at least one set of keys onto the roof of the building at one time back in the past. Didn't you?
Are you kidding me?
I have no recollection of that.
I can't believe that. That's wow. Well, good to know.
That's one of the tricks they'll do is they take your keys so you can't leave until they can pound you to work a deal.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's scary. But I'll have to be careful. I don't think I'm going to be trading in my car. Right now I have a 2006 Honda Accord, and I know it sounds old, but I actually got it from my mom. And there was no reason for her to get rid of it.
How many miles is on that Honda?
She didn't even have like 100,000. My mom is she's got this thing where in her head that if any car gets close to 100,000, that it's not going to be good. It's getting ready to, possibly something will happen to it. And, cars have advanced so much now, but it was around, I think, 87,000 or something.
I'll tell you what, Lisa, the only reason why I asked is because I assumed that would be the least amount of miles that you would have on the vehicle. Hang on to it. Someone is going to try to steal it from you. That is a gem.
It's at 100. Yeah, it's almost at 150 now, but it's been. I mean, I keep up with the maintenance, and she's had all like dealer maintenance through her whole time having it, and I believe she bought it like almost newer. So yeah, it's a great car, and I'm not in a super rush. So I'm just doing my research now for
that's great. You're not in a rush, so that is on your side also. Lisa, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for supporting our platform here for the ladies, and please give us a call back and let us know what you decided.
I will. It might be a while, but I'll keep listening to the show, and I might even call with another question. Because your show is helping me do my research as well, gaining knowledge to prep me for when I do buy. So
yeah, well, we appreciate that when you can call. Mm-hmm. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And stay on the line. Give Jeremy your information.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go to Frank. Good morning, Frank. Thanks for holding. Frank's calling us from Jupiter Farms.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to speak to you guys. And today I got a lot of stuff to go over, but I'm actually in the market for a toy car, okay? I'll get back to that in a moment, but my birthday was a few weeks ago. I walked down to the Terramarsh store there in Juno Beach, and I saw this beautiful little blue car, and I said, man, that's nice. I used to have a Jaguar F-Type R, so I like speed and things like that. But the doors opened up like gull-wing doors. It's a Maserati 20C. Oh, my goodness. It's fabulous. It's also like $200,000 to $300,000. But so I said, maybe I'll go get one for myself in Anne-Marie. We went up to Stewart. Almost no one has them for sale. They're all so limited. But anyway, they had one. She sat in it. She looked gorgeous. I tried sitting in it. It took two people to pull me on that thing. It was so demoralizing. Oh, my goodness. I go, okay. When you're in your 70s, like I am now, well into my 70s, you can't really get in these cars. But then they said, well, we got something called the Ghibli, which is a four-door Maserati. But they actually, some models have a Ferrari engine in it from Ferrari. So they got one, and it's nice. I mean, I still was torn about getting it or not, but it looks just like the new Lexus I got next to it. It's just a four-door sedan with a big, fast motor that's, you don't hear the vroom, vroom. So anyway, but with their fees and the selling price, it was amazing the things they add on. And I said, no, you can't really do that. You advertise it for this amount. It's on the thing. You can only do sales tax. Or you could be sued, and it could be in that class action lawsuit that's coming down the road, thinking I'd kind of scare them. They said, no, that's why we can't give you the discount, because we charged all these other people. We got to charge you, or else we will be sued. And I go, oh, wow, this is the buying a car is just a unique experience. So I went to Greco yesterday. I went to Greco Ford. They have a beautiful Ferrari, California, and I fit in it. I could get in and out. They won't let me test drive it. The salesman said, no, you can't test drive it. After you buy it, you can drive it. And I go, you got to be kidding me. I use a different adjective, but I don't want to do that on the air. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. Greco's is probably on your do not buy list, correct?
That's amazing. That's
quite
amazing.
A few of the Grecos are, yeah.
Well, how? So they expected you to buy a car that they won't let you drive before you buy it?
By the way, the price is over $120,000, so it's not like I'm getting myself,
Yeah.
But yeah, they said no, it's a trade-in. We took a trade-in. I said, what could they bring $100,000 to trade in for? A pickup truck? They also do Bentleys there and there, but it's in Delray, and it was an hour drive down, hour drive back, but it was frustrating. And they had all these fees, all these dealer fees. You got to get a low jack. They put that in. They do dealer docs. They do on-tax. And then, here's the question for that, because since I don't have a tag for this car, there's supposed to be supposedly a Florida excise thing because you're getting a new car or something like that of several hundreds of dollars. Is that some truth to that? If you don't have a tag?
Well, they have dealer tags. All dealers have a tag that they can put on any car for a demonstration for someone testing a car. So that it's not true. Greco would have a lot of dealer tags, and that's what you typically put on the car before you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, I misphrased it. This Ferrari, not the Ferrari, but the Maserati with the Ferrari engine I was going to purchase, on their doc stamps, they said because you don't have a tag, the state of Florida now imposes like a $300 fee for generating a new tag. Does that sound logical, or is that when someone comes into your dealership?
Well, there's a registration, which is part of the tag, the license and registration, tag and registration. So you're not technically, well, I guess you could say you're paying for the tag, but you're paying for the package of a license plate plus the registration. And I've always looked at it as the registration fee, and the tag is part of it.
Okay. Now I'll digress all the way up to New Hampshire, because I was toying with the idea maybe everyone says, well, if you want something fun, buy a Corvette. My last Corvette I bought was a 63 split window down in Miami. Ooh. But I wish I kept it. It was only $5,000 back then. But anyway, it rode too rough, and so I tried getting into new Corvettes. They're also impossible again. But there's a dealership named McMullen in Nassau, New Hampshire, that has zero dealer fees. They're the largest Chevrolet dealer, not only in the country for Corvettes, but in the entire world.
I've heard
And
about
they
that.
actually, they're unbelievable. I spoke to them. They're the nicest bunch of people on the telephone. I said, wow, if they only had a dealership down here, but they couldn't survive. But anyway, so this search is going on. But while we're talking about search, this is something to bring to your audience. I do metal detecting. I've been doing this for several years. I got a call, a damsel in distress, a couple of weeks ago, that had lost her key fob on the beach off A1A up near, I'm trying to think, anyway, not too far south of Indiantown. So forget the name of that beach. But so I went there with my metal detector, and I said, a key fob, you should be able to find that. It won't be under the sand. And I spent hours. I had other friends come and spend hours. Turns out that she thinks now she lost it in the water.
Oh,
so
boy.
It's her only key fob. So here's where we get to key fobs. How much do you think it is to replace a key fob nowadays?
What's the car?
It's a Mercedes-Benz 2018 C300. So it has to get a German. They can't just, you got to prove obviously that you own the car.
Yeah.
You got the tag and all that. But I was flabbergasted because I was making calls for her. I mean, the poor lady was sleeping in her car at night. She had no place to go.
I'm going to
So
go
anyway,
with $1,100.
That was about the cheapest that you could even get close to. The minimum price was $1,400. The normal high price is around $2,400 now. $2,400 for a key fob. It's insanity. It's just so. My advice to your listeners: if you go to the beach, obviously leave your jewelry at home, and be careful where you take your key fob, because I've had that before. I was called a couple of years ago to go down to the beach right by the inlet, and they lost their key fob because the kids were playing in the sand and buried it.
Yep.
Okay. So my metal detector found it within minutes, and they were so ecstatic. They said, "Oh yeah, this is $800." And $800? I go, "You got to be kidding me!" And it was just a regular car.
Yeah.
I go, "Holy cow!" But now that I saw Mercedes is in the thousands, and it can be over 2,000. I mean, it's just like it really can set someone back. And obviously, not being able to drive. So,
Well, I guess they figure if you can afford a Mercedes, you can afford a lot of money for the key. So it's not fair, but that's the way it is.
But anyway, I thought I was a pretty savvy shopper. But like I said, I'm going shopping now and looking for a fun car. We got the new Lexus. I don't need it. We got my wife's got an SUV, RS200 or SQ500, and that's a wonderful SUV. And I have my King Ranch pickup truck, so we're covered. You really don't need a car, but we wanted something fun. So I guess I'm going to have to fight with dealer fees and all that stuff wherever I go, right?
Well, you're kind of like our random mystery shopper. You go in and you're enjoying what you're doing, and then you report back to us with a phone call. So I like that.
Yeah, no, it is fun. I mean, my wife says that's one thing Frank likes to do is stop at dealerships and see, and if you get to test drive a car. But when you can't test drive a car, then I'm actually thinking about literally buying.
Yeah.
I was like shocked. I mean, I go, it was a big dealership. Oh my goodness!
How were you dressed? How did you were casual?
Casual. I had a nice clean pair of shorts on, a nice button-down shirt, and things like that. And he said, "Well, you got to see what your credit score is." He said, "My credit scores are well into the high 800s." So I said, "Money's no object."
A lot of car salespeople will look at a prospective customer and they pre-qualify them. This is car dealers hate this, and if they come in and they don't look like they can afford to buy the car, they don't want to talk to them, because if they talk to them, that person will take up a lot of their time. Meanwhile, a real buyer comes in and the other salesman gets to sell the car and make the commission. The stupid part about that idea is the fact that some of the wealthiest people are the ones that don't worry about how they look. They'll come in and wearing sandals and a T-shirt and a pair of ragged shorts, and they live in Palm Beach and they're worth $100 million. So it's really stupid of a salesperson to pre-qualify. You got to talk to everybody, treat them with courtesy and respect. Otherwise, you're going to lose the sale. Yeah, if you had been if you were buying a Ferrari that day, you wouldn't have bought it when they told you you can't drive the car. You'd have gone somewhere else and bought it from somebody that treated you with respect. And that's the stupid part about car dealers. They just don't get it.
Yeah, no, he was trying to push me into a Mustang, and I had a Mustang back in '95. But that's not.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's an everyday car, but it's something unusual. At this point in my life, I was pretty good at saving my money and stuff, and I said, boy, I got all this money sitting around. When
Frank, we got to move along. We got a lot of callers here, and thank you for the call.
You guys. Welcome back.
Say hi to Anne Marie for us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Have it.
Thanks, Frank. That was quite a story.
Yeah.
I think I'm speechless.
Well, and
let me finish up by saying, did he say $1,400?
Yeah.
Yes, for one key fob, where
wait,
they'd lost all the keys.
Wait a minute. Let me say it again, in case everyone out there didn't hear me. Frank said $1,400. Did anybody out there during this conversation think to themselves, I wonder what it really costs to make a key pod? Well, let me tell you, folks, it ain't $1,400.
Nope.
And I go back to my opening haggling. Rugs, spices, livestock, key pods, cars, whatever. The train has left the station. If you want to purchase a key pod, what, $250? $800 total? This is ridiculous. That's all I can say. Rick?
This one from Donovan. He says, having the app on your phone that can unlock your car, much better option. Just like Tesla, BMW, even Toyota has that. However, he says Tesla charges $35, not $3,500, $35 for 2 key cards that you can program yourself to your car. Bomb. Problem solved. $35.
Exactly. I have
For
4.
2.
I have 4. I have 4 cards.
There you go.
You just never know. I mean,
Yeah.
you keep one of the cards in your glove box. You keep one in your back pocket. In this fast-paced world today, and let me tell you what, I'm a living example. To be able to stop for a moment and breathe. In that moment, can you remember where your key pod is, where your Tesla card is? I'll tell you what, folks, we are moving fast. It's unfortunate. We all need to slow down. And this ridiculous being able to charge a person an outrageous price for a vehicle, for a used vehicle, for a new vehicle, for a key pod, somebody needs to get a grip. I'm going out front to protest. Okay, folks, 877-960-9960. I can go on, can't I? And our text number is 772-497-6530. Don't forget your anonymousfeedback.com. And, I say, and Earl wrote this column quite some time ago, but it's one of my favorite, and it applies to every single person that's listening to the show, who's on Facebook, who's on Instagram, wherever you're viewing us or listening to us from. Earl wrote a column, and it is so telling. The name of it, The Deal We Don't Talk About. And it is so true. And you feel like you're the Lone Ranger. Nobody likes to admit that they've been taken advantage of, but there have been so many people that have been taken advantage of, whether it's a key pod, whether it's a car, used, new, a lease. The deal we don't like to talk about. Do you want anyone to know that you've been taken advantage of? No. We don't. But in this day and age, it's very, what shall I call it? It's vogue. If you're not taken advantage of, maybe you feel left out because you can't apply your, skills to this person who's trying to take advantage of you. And I love getting out my skills. If somebody tries to take advantage of me, oh boy, are they in for trouble. Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Let me tell you what, talk about getting taken advantage of. Do we have a mystery shop for you? You don't want to go anywhere. You want to stay tuned about, I'm going to say maybe about, we should really get started on the mystery shopping report just a little bit earlier than we normally do. So stay tuned for the mystery shopping report. Here's a teaser. It's from Stuart, Florida. We're going to go to the phones and we're going to talk to John in West Palm Beach. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. In the past, you've had people call and compliment the service department and your sales department. This past week, I had the opportunity. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to one of your departments that probably never gets praise because most people think it's Chat GTP or something. Last week, after we talked on the Saturday show, someone asked about a Christmas party for the customers. You said, no, we don't, but did you have a number? Things like that. And I got to thinking. I went ahead and got to your website to see if there was what the next party was going to be. And I texted the number that you gave us, and you responded back. But while I was on your website, I went ahead and used a little chat box down in the right-hand corner, and I asked, when's the next? Is there a Christmas party coming up for customers? It said, no, I'm not sure about that question, but I will contact someone about it. Give us your name, number, and whatever. And I thought maybe that was just to collect information so you guys could send me flyers. It wasn't more than 15 minutes when I had someone from I called them the IT department. He said it was more like the internet department. He got back to me and tried to handle the question as best he could and said he'd be asking you guys because he wasn't sure. But I was so impressed that there was immediate feedback from that. I don't know what that group is that you've got there, but it was very good. And then I shared with him, I said, listen, have you looked at the new car selection on your website? He says, no, why? I said, if you take a look at the 2026 Prius, on the website, the picture of it reminds me, in my opinion, of a Cybertruck backwards. Now, I know the real car probably doesn't look like that, but the picture on your new car inventory for the 2026 Prius, to me, looks like a Cybertruck backwards.
Hey, John, let me, I got a surprise for you. When you called the dealership and you spoke about the party and she said she wasn't sure about it, but she would check and have somebody call you. You were talking to AI.
Yes, correct. I understand.
Okay. I just we switched over. Being an old timer like I am, for years and years and years, I was the last of the Mohegans when it came to going to any kind of an answer machine or automated answering. I said, I want a human being on the phone at all times because I was so frustrated when I was given, you call a typical big company now, and they put you through this silly charade of automated answering. So we held out to the last minute, but about 3 or 4 months ago, I became so impressed with AI and ChatGPT, we tried this company. And that's when you call now for service or sales or things like that, is actually you're talking to a robot, but the robots are nicer. Our complaints have gone down. Our answered phone calls have gone down. Our return phone calls. The whole dealership performance, because of AI, is improved over human beings handling the same problem.
Well, the person that called me back
was
actually a person.
That was a human.
What?
That
yeah,
was,
it
was
it
a human, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a male. I think his name was Scott.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And you
when
know
we
what,
bought our-
John? I'll interrupt you for a second. You know, the point here is the fact that you called and you mentioned that you got a response so quickly. That is unheard of today. I don't care whether you're buying a bag of Vidalia onions, you know, for you to get a response as to what that price is or whatever. You got a response, and that is just priceless.
Yeah. It was.
And as far as your question about parties,
Yeah.
every day is a party at
Yeah.
Earl Stewart Toyota. That's going to be the new logo.
Yes. There you go. Well, now it makes now. Remember, I suggested a picnic. That makes more sense now. Let's have a picnic. Everyone brings their cars.
We used to have them in Juneau, I think it was, or yeah. And we
Father's Day.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Only drawback to that was the temperatures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well,
Thanks,
the only
Ron.
thing about the key fob is that, and this I'm going to get going after this. I want to know the salvage yards when they bring the cars in. What happens to the key fobs with those wrecked cars? Is someone purchasing those and selling them used? Because when I was looking for a part for the Avalon that I used to have, there was key fobs in the dirt. And
Rick can answer
you know,
that.
Yes, there are companies online that if you get key fobs in bulk, 10 or 15, 20 of them, they will buy them for a couple dollars each, and they will refurbish them if they can, but they actually have the technology to go in and reprogram them and be able to reuse a lot of those key fobs.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Appreciate the call.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye.
877-960-9960. Give us a call toll free. Share your experience with us or whatever we just talked about on the air. We'd love to hear from you. As I say every week, you make the show. If you're a little shy, give us a text, 772-497-6530. You can also get in touch with us at youranonymousfeedback.com. We're going to go to Marty, who's been holding from West Palm Beach. Marty is a regular caller. Good morning, Marty.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to give you an experience that I've had and what I do in the past 30-some years. Years ago up north, when I was looking for a car, the salesman did what you said, took my key from the trade-in that I wanted and didn't give it back to me for about 2 hours. I didn't make the deal with them because I didn't like that at all, just the idea they wouldn't give me my key back. But obviously I finally got it back after 2 hours. But I did learn something. Ever since that incident, when the salesman says we got to appraise your car, I tell him I will go out with you. I don't give them my key. I will start my car myself. And if they have a separate building to do to look at the car, I drive it. The salesman can get in the car, but I drive the car over to the building. And I say, ever since that incident, I never give up my key.
That's very wise, Marty, but let me tell you something. The smart evil dealers actually ask their salesman to have the customer appraise the car with them. And the reason for that is so that they can subtly point out issues with the car, which prepares the customer for a lower appraisal. So, they won't say anything nasty, but the dealers train their salespeople, and I know this because I used to do it myself. But you walk around the car and you say, "Ooh, how did you get that ding there?" And you don't say anything about it, but you know that the salesman knows that you dinged it. And then you look at the tires and you'll say, you might want to be careful when you drive home. This right front tire might need to be replaced. And then you go through the air conditioning. You say, does that air conditioning feel as cold to you as you'd like? And you plant enough seeds so that when he praises the car and he comes back with a number, you are anticipating a lower number than what you would otherwise get. So you are unwittingly playing into the hands of the dealer when you do ride in the car with him.
I guess, in my case, Earl, I've never brought in a real old car for a trade-in.
I understand.
So I've never really had any real damage.
Yeah. Well, sometimes there really isn't a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You just got to make the customer believe it. You can look at the paint. You'll say, did you ever have that right front fender repainted? And the customer will say, no. I said, well, maybe it's the way the sun's hitting the car. But you plant the seed, and then you think, well, I bought that car from my friend. Did he wreck the car and paint the fender? And he didn't tell me. I mean, it's dealers are a lot smarter than you give them credit for. I've never said, well, I have said, but I didn't mean it. Some dealers are stupid, but some very smart dealers are quite evil. So back in the day when I was a dealer and doing these things, I've always considered myself intelligent, and I came up with some really sneaky things to do that would, help me sell the car for more, take the trade-ins in for less.
Yeah. Well, I guess I just happen not to be a trusting soul.
Well, you're very wise.
So I've had cars where let's say, put on new tires.
Yeah.
And have driven maybe 5,000 miles on the car, and I bring the car in, the guy says, well, you need new tires. So rather than swearing at the guy, I realize that they don't know what they're talking about. And if the deal's not right, I just don't make it.
Sure.
I've got, for the past 30 years or so, I've got plenty of time. When I go to buy a car,
well, if there are more people like you, Marty, we wouldn't have a show. So I'm glad everybody doesn't know how to buy a car like you do.
Yeah, well, I'm a tough person to sell the car to.
You are.
If they're taking advantage of me.
Yeah, and you get a good price. And the person that's not prepared like you makes up for the difference. What they didn't get on you, they get on him or her, because they take advantage of the people that are not prepared. But I've always said, a guy like you could come in and get one hell of a deal on a car if you do operate the way you do. So this show is to bring more people up to speed, like the way you buy the cars.
Marty, you sound like as if that you are a very seasoned across the board on everything and anything. And you put across that you are ready, that you're calm, and you're focused. I love that.
I mean, first of all, every car dealer has made money on me, too.
Yeah.
So nobody's lost money, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. If they're going to really try to rip you off. Now, I felt bad for that lady now that called earlier. I don't know if a lot of dealerships will let you take a used car out. I mean, I don't know if they'll let you do it.
Well, like Rick said, if they won't let you, just walk away. Because if they won't let you have your car inspected by your own mechanic, they got a reason for it. And what do you think that reason is? There's something that they don't want them to find. So it's good advice. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you save time when they say, I won't let you do that, because you know you're going to walk away. Otherwise, you'd have to go to the expense of paying a mechanic, and he would find the problem, and then they would say, we won't fix it. Save a lot of time, let them tell you you can't take it to a mechanic, and just walk away and buy it somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I've never bought a used car, so usually I go by the new car warranty.
I hear you.
But other than that, you got a great show.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Appreciate it.
All right, have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. I think Marty and I are not cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Tell me, you know me better than anyone. Would taking advantage of me be like pulling a pin from a hand grenade?
That's a perfect analogy, yeah.
Thank you. I'm so proud of that. Yeah. Take my keys. Go ahead. I'm only 5'2". I'm about 104 pounds. Take my keys. Take my key pod. Try to take advantage of me. Whoa. I just don't want to do that. And, I have to say that it's amazing that I haven't, been arrested. It really is, because you're really going to get my attention if you want to take advantage of me on any level, any way, any shape, any form. And like Marty, I speak from experience. I am now officially 83 years old. Wow, am I experienced. And if you put all that knowledge in your subconscious, trust me, there ain't nobody that's going to take advantage of you. They'll try, but they won't succeed. Give us a call. Tell us about your experience on any level. 877-960-9960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget youranonymousfeedback.com. We're going to go to Bob. We're going to go to Bob in Lake Park. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday, Nancy.
Thank you. Rick and Chris brought me in a gift this morning. My birthday was yesterday. Earl and I are Sagittarians. Just as a sidebar here, his birthday's next week. My birthday was yesterday. And Sagittarians, well, when we get together, we're like champagne. But when we disagree, Mamma mia. That's all I'll say. But Rick brought me in an edible arrangement gift, and I should open it up and share it with everybody. I have a funny feeling there's some chocolate fruit in there. Rick's acting like he knows nothing about it. Okay, let's move on. What can we do for you, Bob?
Well, there's an old saying, never judge a book by its cover.
Uh-huh.
John D. MacArthur, when he passed away, he was the third richest man in the United States. If you went over to Singer Island in the morning, he owned the Colonnades, and he would take his two dogs out for a walk in the morning, and if you looked at him, you would think he didn't have two nickels to rub together.
Yeah.
True.
And that's just the way he presented himself.
Well, there was a reason for that.
Okay. What was that?
MacArthur was a naturist. He wasn't wearing any clothes on the beach. True story.
I believe
that's why MacArthur Beach, it's now state park, but for many years the northern end of that beach was a clothing optional beach.
Yes.
Because he himself was a naturist.
Yeah. And as a sidebar here, many, 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 many years ago, I took Earl to that beach. Uh-huh. And Earl didn't know Earl didn't know the rules of that beach. And there was a young lady that was there, and she was a young lady, and she was wearing, what was that, Earl? What was that? She was naked, and she was wearing, I believe it was the Bill of Rights, and that's all she had on. And Earl says, "What the hell's going on here? What are we doing here?" I said, "Okay, I can see you're not ready for this. We'll leave." That's my story about MacArthur Park.
I've been by there, years ago. I never, actually went onto the beach. But did you know Ford is now selling certified used cars on Amazon?
I've looked for it, but I haven't been able to find any yet.
The news
but
is out.
I know that Hyundai, you can buy used cars on Amazon. Just type in a used car for Amazon, and it will bring up all these different Hyundais. Now they're saying it's within 75 miles of my zip code, so it may not be that I'm, in the right area for it. But all the ones that I saw were all at Hyundai dealerships.
Yes. Well, Ford just signed a deal with Amazon.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not at all the dealership. They're just starting the program out.
Right.
So only at certain locations, but I'm sure over time that will be expanded.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah. And the others are going to catch on. That's where the future's going.
Right. Now, I called a few weeks ago about a couple of dealers in Florida that were selling used cars as new. I talked to Stu about it, and I just read an article. There was a dealership up in Michigan that was doing the same thing, and he actually had his license suspended for doing that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, he tried to fight it in court by saying because the warranty was carried over that they really actually were new cars. But they weren't. They were used cars, and he was presenting them and selling them as new. And I thought it was an interesting article because they talked about the state statute. So I was wondering, each state has their own statute as to what differentiates a new car from a used car. And I was wondering if you knew what the Florida statute was.
I would have to say, and this is going on what I've heard from Stu in the past, if the car has not been titled, in other words, the title has not been registered with the Department of Motor Vehicles as having been sold, then it is considered a new car until that title has been registered that it is sold.
And that's accurate. It's this is one of the stupid parts about the law. You can have a car with 100,000 miles on it that's a new car by legal definition. I could take a car from my dealership and I could drive it for 10 years and I would never title the car. Because I'm a dealer, I don't have to title the car. It's a company car. And I could put it on the new car showroom and say new car for sale, and I could sell that and say it was a new car. So that's the stupidity of the laws today. It could be 10 years old. It could be a 2015 vehicle with 100,000 miles, and I could legally sell it in Florida if it had never been titled.
Right. Well, I thought it was interesting because the way this article read was that each state has their own definition.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could, depending on where you bought the car, the statute could be written differently.
Exactly.
So I was just wondering in the state of Florida how they, exactly how they interpreted the difference between what's you considered new and what's considered
a bad law. It's a bad interpretation. So buyer beware. That new car doesn't have to be new. The way you find out if it's a new car is you look at the odometer, you look at the car, you look at the title, but you got to do all the above because if it's got miles on it, in my mind, it's not a new car. I mean, you could argue about, well, it's only got 300 miles. Well, what if it's got 1,000 miles? What if it's got 2,000 miles? Where do you draw the line? What if it's got 300,000 miles? I mean, they should have something that would be objective that would say, okay, if it's got over 10,000 miles, it's a used car. That's too much common sense for states to comprehend.
Okay, I also wanted to say, people were calling about when to change their oil. And, besides the owner's manual, my car, even though it's 11 years old now, has an oil life indicator in the menu, which tells you the life of the oil that's in the crankcase. So, Rick, would you suggest that would be another way of using that as a guide when you want to have an oil change?
Yeah, it's a great reminder, but bear in mind there's nothing inside that engine that is actually doing any sort of analysis of the oil. All that really is a timer in the computer that says, you told me when you changed the oil last at 10,000 miles, I reset my timer, and guess what? You're getting to, say, 70% of that 10,000, so I'm going to tell you that your oil life is now 30% because that's how much time you have left on that 10,000 mile service, and on the time as well. It'll simply calculate it and say, yeah, you did it about, half the amount of time ago than half the miles, therefore it's 50%. But it's simply the computer giving you a reminder that it doesn't have any special. I've never seen a single car yet that has any sort of special equipment in it to analyze the oil.
Right. So you're saying that when the car is built, they write a program, obviously, it's in the software in the computer of the system that is based on time, or is it based on mileage?
Time and miles both. Yep.
Oh.
But and we're going to have to go to the next caller. But here's what should happen, and there, in today's 21st century, with AI and the rest of it, there's no reason in the world why they couldn't have a sensor that would actually measure the quality of the oil. So driving habits, conditions, altitudes, there's a zillion things, salt air, all these things affect the oil. And if they could raise the price of the car by $50, and they could put a sensor in there that said, your oil needs to be changed. And it needs to be changed in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. Or it might need to be changed in 5,000 miles or 50,000 miles. It would optimize, minimize the cost and optimize the reliability. But to put a timer in there and say, oh, you've had the car for a year, change the oil, that oil could be perfect. But you're paying for a new oil change. Thanks for the call, and you raised a very interesting, important topic.
Thank you. We'll have a very happy birthday celebration. And,
Thank you very much.
Try Henry's on Royal Poinciana for dinner. That would be a wonderful place to celebrate the new mile marker that you just passed.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. We love hearing from you. Give us a call again. Our number here is 877-960-9960. You can text us at 772-497-6530. You know, Earl, it seems like yesterday that you ran that full-page ad in the Washington Post, about being the first Toyota dealer to sell cars on Amazon. And what a telling write-up that was, and how you believe in the future and the ability to be transparent, and that's the reason that Earl has so much in common with Jeff Bezos. And
that stirred up Toyota, by the way. They got a little bit miffed at that, and they were, when they interviewed and say, you got a guy in Florida, Earl Stewart, he's got a Toyota dealership down there, and he says that he'd like to sell cars for Amazon. And of course, they stonewalled the reporter and said, well, we fully support our dealer franchise system. I'm making some of this up, not that. We really like our dealers, and we want to keep this franchise system forever and ever and ever. And again, I'm exaggerating. But the point is, Toyota has to maintain a friendly, stern, but friendly relationship, because think about it. If Toyota wants to really sell a car, and by that I mean retail a car, they can't do it any other way. The only way they can sell a car, because of the state franchise laws, they got to go through me or some other dealer. So if you get the dealers angry at you, and a lot of these dealers have multiple dealerships. A Ford dealer might have a Honda dealership. So if Toyota's giving the Toyota dealer a hard time, I think he'd rather start selling more Hondas and fewer Toyotas. So all the manufacturers are in that. They have to pay lip service and keep their dealers happy, and they don't like it when I stir them up by saying I want to sell through Amazon. So that's just me, right? I mean, when you get old and you've been around a long time and you know where the bodies are buried, you get brave. And I'm one of the few dealers that will look Toyota in the eye and say, you're dead wrong. You made a mistake.
Earl, let's be clear. Age has nothing to do with it. You have been the same person all your life. So back to the Washington Post and, the letter that Earl wrote. Earl feels that customers deserve honest pricing right up front. And that's why he pairs so well with Jeff. I mean, it's perfectly clear You need to be dealt with the same way that you're dealt with everything else that you purchase. Like Earl mentions from time to time, did you go into Publix and negotiate for a steak, a box of chicken? It's totally ridiculous.
We're gonna do
anyway, the response to that Washington Post, that was a very strong response that you got, and it was very telling. And I think that it still has some movement. I think that something good is going to come from that. We're going to go to Terry, who's been patiently holding. Good morning, Terry. Welcome to the show. What can we do for you, Terry?
Yo, Terry.
Okay,
Good
Terry.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Quick question. We've been talking about birthdays. I'm not a young man. I remember in 1975 when catalytic converters became commonplace on U.S. vehicles. Recently, my check engine light came on, and I went to the dealer and was told that the parts, etc., that it was triggered by a problem with the catalytic converter. And in my usual cavalier way, I said, what do I care? And the dealer explained that, number one, the parts were very expensive, and number two, it was not just a question of cleaning the air coming out of the tailpipe, but in fact the vehicle wouldn't run properly if I didn't replace and maintain the catalytic converter. Rick, talk to me. Why is the catalytic converter so important to having the vehicle run? It's a fairly high-mileage car, and while I'm a good American citizen, I'm not real worried about the pollutants coming out of my tailpipe the few miles I drive. Do I really have to invest that kind of money in the vehicle?
Only for a specific cause, and this is the catalytic converter. What you got to imagine is it's a big metal shell, and inside there is a bunch of material that's all formed together like in a real tight honeycomb pattern. And what can happen is, in a severe case, that material can actually get overheated and start to melt down and break down, and it will actually kind of solidify into a lump, and the exhaust can no longer flow freely through it. Then you've got a situation where the restricted exhaust can cause your engine not to run properly.
Why can't you just take it off and put on a muffler?
Well, there's actually a couple ways to do that. You could have someone simply cut the catalytic converter out of the car and weld a simple piece of pipe in there, because you've got mufflers behind that are going to quiet the car.
There you go.
Or there's another way in which people will simply take the catalytic converter off of the car and take either a big long piece of metal rod and jam it in there and break all that stuff up and shake it out of there. Or I've even seen one version where it's a metal rod with two little short pieces of chain and two nuts.
Before we get into too much
and they'll
detail,
break it up. But
I'm going to cut you off because we're running out of time, and this subject brings up an important issue in today's news. And Nancy and I were talking about this on the way in. Donald Trump, President of the United States, has said that he is going to cut the restrictions on manufacturers for the CAFE. In other words, that's the corporate air quality, the Gas Mileage Act. In 1975, caller mentioned that earlier, 1975, they said that car dealers, and manufacturers, I should say, are going to have to have a certain amount of gas mileage that they will have to be able to manufacture cars. And if they manufacture cars with less gas mileage, they fine them up to $5,000 or $10,000 a car. So that is what has created the catalytic converter and all the other gadgets and temporary devices that are supposed to make our cars cleaner. So Donald Trump has said, listen, we got hybrids, we got all electric vehicles. I'm going to take all these requirements off cars. So when you build a combustion engine car, you're going to have thousands of dollars less expense, which you can pass along to the consumer. So that's breaking news. It happened yesterday, and this caller raised a very interesting what's going to happen.
Yeah, very much so.
I don't want to get political, and I have my nice things to say about Donald Trump and my bad things to say about Donald Trump, but I personally support that. I think, and of course, the manufacturers of cars support that too, but I do not think that overall air quality would suffer if today he took those requirements off, because the EVs and the hybrids are coming on board and getting on the roads so quickly that we will, in general, the world will be a cleaner place every year, in spite of what the CAFE requirements are. And so forget about them, cut them, make the manufacturers free of that, and build the cars they want to without the damn catalytic converters.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here giggling because I'm thinking about the catalytic converters and all the thieves out there, and I'm wondering, I got to ask my girl, ChatGPT, are catalytic converters still being stolen at the rate that they once were? And guess what? Some of the cars have, or trucks, I'm not sure, Rick, you can correct me on this, have 2 catalytic converters.
Some have up to 4.
Holy moly. Also, back to what Earl said, you're going to pay less for a vehicle. And what Earl was talking about, he was talking about the Clean Air Act. That's the CAA.
No, not the Clean Air Act.
Oh, I got more.
Yeah.
It targets pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. With the CFE, sets fuel economy targets. So together, they push automakers toward cleaner, more efficient vehicles. Is that what
exactly right?
That's where you were going with that.
Right, yeah.
Often accelerating hybrids, EVs, and lighter, more, well, shall we say, aerodynamic designs. So this is a good thing. This is a great thing. You're going to pay less for a vehicle. Okay.
Okay, I think we should.
Earl, I don't know if you read the Wall Street Journal on Saturday morning before you do the radio show, but in today's print edition, not the online one, they've got a long review of the Grand Highlander, and it's reasonably interesting and reasonably snarky. You'll get a kick out of it. You all ought to read it.
Hey,
Today's
Terry,
print edition.
were you saying this morning's Wall Street Journal or yesterday morning?
Today's Wall Street Journal.
Okay, I got that in the back seat. We didn't get a chance to take a look at it. I picked that up off the driveway, and I'll take a look at it whenever I get home. I'm sure Earl will also. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
You ought to sit in the back seat and let your driver drive you around, and then you could read the paper.
Ah,
You
there you
know,
go.
I'm not that trusting.
We have autonomous car. We don't need a driver.
I'm not that trusting, Terry. Not that trusting.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, Terry. It was
And I'm
pleasure.
going to jump in there, and because we're getting near the time where we have to go to the mystery shopping report, and that call also brought up an interesting point. Both Nancy and I, in our Teslas, Nancy has a Tesla Plaid, and I have a Cybertruck. They recently got the newest software, which for you Tesla folks out there is 14.2.1. And that is the magic number, 14.2.1. They have an autonomous car now, folks. I know this is controversial, but they have autonomous car, Tesla does, with this latest software that is better than you and most drivers on the road. It's faster, it's safer, takes a lot of tension out of the drive, and it is we're at the point now. Nancy said to me the other day, she says, "I never thought I'd say this, but I am so glad I have this autonomous car because it takes so much of the pressure off of when I have to go somewhere." And I feel exactly the same way. I know there's some folks out there that will take issue with this. And I'm not saying that these cars, autonomous cars, don't make mistakes. They make mistakes. But what they don't do is they don't make as many mistakes as humans. Here's something with regard to that is just painful. If we had autonomous cars today with 14.2.1, we would have virtually no deaths or injuries or accidents from drunken driving. Now, who's going to argue that a drunk can drive better than an autonomous car? We lose thousands of lives every year to drunk drivers. But if a drunk driver could only buy an autonomous car, think of the lives, the millions of lives over the years, and the accidents and the property damage that would be eliminated by 14.2.1. Rick?
Just imagine now, multiply that by 20.
Yeah.
Because you're going to take out the distracted drivers as well.
Yeah, exactly. Drunken drivers, it's almost an exaggeration to make a point. You've got, let's rank them. The drunk drivers is absolutely the worst driver. What about marijuana and speed and the other pharmaceutical no-nos, illegal drugs? And iPhones.
Most definitely, Rick. That is a huge distraction. Cell phone.
We've all seen people doing stupid things while they're driving. But you can argue with that because we had a lady, a woman called 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I didn't want to say anything. I hope she's not listening now. It might embarrass her. But she says that they measured her driving habits and they raised her insurance premiums. And she thought that was ridiculous. Well, maybe it was, but maybe she wasn't a good driver. And my guess is the reason her insurance premiums went up is because she wasn't driving as safe as she might be. So there's arguments there, but there's no arguments when it comes to drunk drivers, drug-induced drivers, and things like that. So think about it, and Nancy and I are now driving cars that will be absolutely safer.
Yeah, what a great point. What a great point in driving, in self-driving. It's just unbelievable. And Rick mentioned the fact cell phones. We have so many distractions when we're on the road. There's so many distractions, period, in our lives. But let me tell you something. If I'm in my Tesla Plaid and I even look at my cell phone, I get an alert that I will lose the ability to drive my Plaid.
Yeah, Nancy gets in her Tesla Plaid in our garage, and she puts the destination in there. She can do it from the house by transferring it from her iPhone to the car wherever she wants to go. So let's say she wants to go to Publix, and she puts it in her Plaid.
I could only wish.
And she gets in her car and she hits full self-drive, FSD, full self-drive, and she pushes the button. The car backs out of her driveway, and by the way, it's a steep driveway. It's blind on the street. We have hedges on both sides of our house. You can't see if cars are coming either way, but the car can see with the 8 cameras, and it backs out. It's faster. We came to the dealership. It has we have a 4 speeds: sloth, and that speaks for itself.
Yep, that's
Sloth, Standard, Hurry, and Mad Max. So Nancy had.
Hey, I wish we had more time because I was going to put a question out there. How do you think Earl and I? What mode do you think we drive in?
Mad Max.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Who said that? Who said that? Who said Mad Max?
I said
Rick?
Mad Max.
Oh,
I said
okay.
Mad Max.
You weren't supposed to answer.
Yeah.
But I can tell by the response in the studio, there isn't anybody with any hesitation that doesn't say Mad Max, because both of these people, Earl and Nancy Stewart's, lead a very fast-paced life, and they're crazy.
It not only is safer, it gets you there faster.
Well,
it sounds
what
too good
happens
to be
is
true, so.
we travel on the road less traveled. So there's so many pluses. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you, I would need 2 shows in order to convince you about the safety of our vehicles. It's just unbelievable. It's amazing. Anyway, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the mystery shopping report. As I promised you, it's going to be a doozy. And we would love for you to vote. Your vote is extremely important. You can do so by texting us at 772-497-6530. And Earl's favorite person, the coach from ChatGPT, he also graded on the mystery shopping report. You wonder, where is the mystery shopping report from? Agent Lightning went to Stuart, Florida, and she visited the Wallace Group. And, well, the floor is yours.
Well, Stuart, Florida, for those that may not know, is in southeast Florida. It's in the Sodom and Gomorrah belt, I call it, where the evil dealers live. And the worst dealers in the world are in southeast Florida. So that'll give you a little idea. That's why we grade on the curve, especially in Florida, because of the fact that we got to have some dealers that are somewhat acceptable to buy a car. So mystery shop, Wallace, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep in Stuart, Florida. Speaking as if I were Agent Lightning, who does our shops, does an amazing job. I arrived mid-afternoon and was greeted by a lady on a golf cart who was anxiously waiting for me to get out of my car. She had a clipboard in hand and asked, "Do you have an appointment today?" I said, "No, I'm just stopping to look at some Wranglers and hopefully get a price." She asked for my name and cell number as a salesman named Jesus paced nearby, waiting for her to finish. Jesus introduced himself and asked my name, then said, "How can I help you today?" I repeated that I was in the market for a new Wrangler, very interested in the 4xe, 4xe, I guess, 4xe. He immediately shook his head. Okay, he shook his head and said, "You don't want those. I've seen nothing but problems. Recall after recall, and very upset customers." So there you hear it, folks. A new car dealership, and here's a new car salesman, and there's a new car on display, and the new car salesman says that you don't want those. You don't want that Wrangler. I've seen nothing but problems. Recall after recall. And all-time first in 21 years, this has never been said by a new car salesman. Okay, that's the reason we love this show. I've seen nothing but problems, and so it's over. And very upset customers. I promise you, you don't want a 4xe. I don't even want to sell them. That's how bad they are. I swear, I'm not making this up. Okay. I told Jesus that I really wanted the one-touch roof and something mid-range. We were still standing out front, so we pointed to a Wrangler sitting up on the display rack. He walked over to take a look, and he said, "This is a perfect time to buy. We're at the end of the year, and I can definitely get you some great discounts." Now, appreciate this because it's about the only true thing that was said in this report. I hate to prejudice the whole thing, but it is true that the end of the year, as silly as it sounds, is really a great time to buy a new or used car, especially a new car. And that is because there is a crescendo of incentives that end on December 31st, not literally, of course, at midnight, New Year's, but all the factory incentives to the dealer incentives to the managers, and the managers' incentives to the salesman. All those incentive monies are bigger because we in America live, the companies, year to year. oh, he had a really good 2023, or the company lost money in 2024. That's a measuring point. Wall Street measures those companies. The dealers are measured also, not only annually, but they're measured monthly. The salesmen are measured, especially monthly, because of bonuses. So you have salesmen's bonuses, dealers' bonuses, manufacturers' bonuses, crashing down on New Year's. And the situation can actually arrive, and it has, where a customer who's a good negotiator or just lucky goes in and picks a car at the right time on the last day of the month and actually buys the car below the dealer's cost. The bonuses can be so high on a car that the dealer can afford to sell it at a loss to hit his year-end bonus money. I don't want to tell you to wait till midnight on New Year's Eve and go out and buy a car. As a matter of fact, I have to clarify, because most of the dealers and the manufacturers, in fact, all of them, end their year into January. So you'd have to find out. If you're buying a GM product, a Buick, if you're buying a Toyota, you need to find out when Toyota says their end of the year is. It could be January the 5th or January the 6th, something like that. But for everybody concerned, it is their year end, and that is the best time to buy a new car. Save a lot of money that way. So this idiot salesman that said that the Wrangler I wanted to buy, I'm going back to be the mystery shopper again, was a piece of junk and I shouldn't buy it. But he also said that it's a good time to buy because it's the end of the year. Well, it's not really the end of the year, but it's close to it, so there was truth in what he said. If you're going to wait till the end of the year, you might as well wait until the real end of the year, because there will be desperation. Every manufacturer, every dealer is trying to pump out that last new car. One more, and you can name your price on that day. Okay, back to the mystery shopper report. I told him I really liked it. He offered to take it down for a test drive. I declined, saying I already own one, and once I see that the price is right, I'll definitely want to drive it before I buy it. But for now, I just rather see what the price is. If that's okay with you, I'm in a hurry. I got to look at the partial Monroney label on the seat. Partial. The MSRP was $59,020. We headed inside, sat down at his desk where he asked for my name and phone number again. I laughed and said, "Isn't that the point of the girl? Remember the one that came up in the golf cart doing it?" And Jesus replied, "I don't care to take the information from her." I mean, that's a strange thing to say. I'd rather just get it myself from my customers. He then asked, "What are you trying to accomplish exactly today?" I said, "I saw online that you have some savings, and I just wanted to see if it would be the right time for me to possibly buy a brand new Jeep." He said, "Well, I could definitely get you probably around $11,000 off. I think you'll be very happy today." I asked if I could get that in writing, explaining that I needed to see what my total out-the-door price would be after all the fees, markups, and everything else. Okay, I remember that. So he excused himself for a few minutes to speak with one of his sales managers. You know that routine, SOP. Then returned with Tony, who told me, "Jesus is one of my best guys. He'll definitely take care of you and get you exactly into what you want to drive." I said, "Well, he wouldn't sell me a 4XE. Tony shook his head in agreement. "We've had nothing but problems with those. You don't want one." And of course, we're all thinking, why the hell do you have it on the lot? Why did you bought it from the manufacturer shipped it to you. If you made a mistake, you could have hidden it somewhere. If you're not going to sell it, why is it there up on a display? And everybody's telling me it's a piece of junk. Anyway, I digress.
That sounds like the guy who talked to us about the paintings that we should purchase.
Oh, yeah,
and then somebody said that the elements would deteriorate the painting, but yet he was still selling them for a very high price, I might add. Maybe they know each other.
Right. A few minutes later, Jesus returned with a printed price sheet and handed it to me. As I pulled out my phone to take a picture, now, for you newbies, new listeners, watchers, viewers, Agent Lightning usually does this. She takes a picture of the Brunoni label, of the buyer's order, of the worksheet, anything that she can get a picture of. And we have copies of it with a mystery shopping report. So she took her phone out, which she does it every week. I've been doing it for years and years. Now, the manager, Tony, I took my camera out, I'm Agent Lightning, ripped it out of my hand and said, "You can't take a picture of that. That's just for our personal internal use." The manager ripped the phone out of my hand. I mean, where does that go in terms of, we've never had a report like this. I was shocked, and I said, "Are you for real?" I have a feeling Agent Lightning used other words than "are you for real," but we can't say them on the air. Anyway, I know what Nancy would say if someone ripped her iPhone out of her hand, and we could not put that on the air. Anyway.
Well, I think he ripped the paper out of her hands.
Yeah, the paper. Okay.
Yeah. Not the phone.
Well, I pulled out. Oh, okay, the paper. Okay. You ripped it. If you rip anything out of my hand, I mean.
So would it matter if she would take that paper and slap him in the face with it, or would it matter if she slapped him in the face with her cell phone?
Use the paper. Phones are expensive.
Anyway, I said my husband's going to see all the numbers, everything, so I need to know what my out-the-door price is. Can I have another sheet of paper so I can write everything down? He reluctantly agreed, handed me a piece of paper and a pen, and let me write down all the numbers. Of course, here out comes the surprises, and they had a filing fee of $745.50, junk fee. They had an $899 doc fee, another junk fee, and the rest of the numbers there. So we're looking at $1,600, about $1,600 or $1,700 in sneaky added fees, junk fees. So the advertised price from their website was $47,732. That was their clearance price. And of course, the real price after the junk fees and everything else was $1,800. That's right, $1,844 more than their advertised price. Overall, I felt like it was still a good price, speaking as if I were Agent Lightning. I was able to get the car for $7,000 below MSRP out the door. And in my book, that seems like a win. So, you know, when the outrage settles, Agent Lightning said, "Hey, I got a good price." And if you could bear going through that kind of treatment and get a good price, well, you need to be the judge of that. But we need to vote. And the votes are on A through F. We typically don't give A's or F's because we grade on the curve. And I'm going to tell you in advance, we have a different grade from ChatGPT than we've ever had on a mystery shopping report. So with that said, I'm going to ask Rick what kind of grades he's got.
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I've had dozens of folks on both YouTube channels wishing you both a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Just wanted to say so they all...
Thanks, everyone.
Passed them along.
Earl and I.
Okay, well, we've got Andrew Plasinski says, "I would run quickly from that dealer. F." Donovan says, "It's pretty clear that's an F." Joseph Kelleher says, "F. The behavior of the manager is reason enough for the grade." Let's see, waiting for more to come in here. Frank from Jupiter Farm says, Last week I was at two of the Wallace dealerships in Stewart, Chevy for the Corvette and Cadillac for the V and Blackbird models. Surprisingly, the Cadillac dealership tried to push me into the electric cars. I also take pictures of the Maroney label and worksheets. If a manager tried ripping the paperwork, or God forbid my reaction to what the manager did, to lightning. So, I think Frank's voting for an F there, but I think, yeah, he did not like that.
Okay, hold on for a second. Let me be clear about something. Was it her cell phone or was it a piece of
the
paper?
paperwork.
As I pulled out my phone to take a picture, he ripped it out of my hands.
Right, but I think she meant the paper because she had the paper in her hands.
You're assuming.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
I would hope he went for the paper and not her phone.
That's not what she said.
Yeah.
So, but you could be right, yeah.
South Florida Two Stop says, F, if someone tries to take anything from me, no. Okay, back over here, we've got Tom Steckel. Wallace deserves an F due to poor customer service. D+ on price due to excessive dealer fees. Nobody beats Central Florida's CDJR with $4,328 in fees, though. Brian Sidlatko, they get an A for letting you know that Jeeps are junk. However, my grade is an F. Mark says, first F ever. Selling one of the most unreliable brands, they should be treating Agent Lightning like a queen. Tim Gilliland says F. Johnny Z. Friendly says, I'll give them a D. They have plenty of Fs. See if we got anything else coming in. And that looks, here we go, a couple more. Frank Yap says grade of an F. And Bob in Maryland, he sent a picture of his vote, and it's this funny looking thing that looks like a F, a flag. Yeah. For me, Kim Appreciates Life says F for fools, and Cram says F, it's a ripoff. My own vote, we avoid the Fs, but it's a Jeep D- from me.
Nancy, I guess it's not necessary to ask you.
On the air? You want this on the air? You really want to do this? I'll tell you what, folks. You know, it just goes without saying. They never cease to amaze me. There's always a new story out there. Always a new story. And I went ahead and I asked ChatGPT, you know, how I would react if there would be repercussions. And what ChatGPT said to me was, hitting a person can get you in legal trouble. Yeah, so I was going to take a ride up to Stewart and, well, do my thing, but I need to finish celebrating our birthdays. Anyway, this is very serious, ladies and gentlemen. This is ridiculous. We're talking, this is the 21st century. I was just, you know, as appalled as everyone out there. We expect some bad stories. We expect, you know, so many different, you know, scenarios with these mystery shopper reports, but this is ridiculous. This is a crock. And I have no grade. I have no rating. I don't know what to tell you. F.
Yeah, I give it an F too. And interestingly enough, ChatGPT gave it a D- in his words, D- almost an F. And I can also say this unequivocally, this is the worst mystery shopping report we have had in 21 years in business is on this show. That is the worst. And I'm ashamed to tell you, I know Bill Wallace. I'll have to give him a call about this.
Yeah, and coming from Earl Stewart, that's quite a statement. Yeah, and is this the vehicle that, it's known for high voltage fires? High voltage battery fires. Ladies and gentlemen, we're completely out of time. I thank you for tuning in to Earl on Cars. We so appreciate your company and your participation. We'll be right back here next Saturday morning at 8 a.m., same time. Have a beautiful weekend. God bless everyone.